Okay guys, let's go ahead and get this cranked up here and set up. For those of you who are wondering what the video is about, me and the guys are flying a campaign online for free right now, Operation Hormuz, and requires us to use the Walleye. We've been struggling a little bit, so this video is more or less just going over the Walleye for me and the guys. So first thing I'm going to do, I've created a quick mission and just set something up for very similar conditions that we're encountering in the mission, which is dropping the walleye from 25,000 feet and letting it punch through the clouds and driving it home to its target. So right now we're 79 miles out, and again, this is more directed towards me and the guys. Feel free to take whatever you can from what I'm about to go through, because these are some of the things we've been encountering with it. So one thing that we've definitely noticed, obviously it's a 2,000-pound bomb. When you drop it, your wing's gonna drop to the left or the right, with whichever wing still has the ordnance on there. So one thing that has helped me since practicing is when you're on target or on line with the target to drop, having attitude hold and barometric altitude hold on your autopilot, so you can primarily keep it hands off. So next thing we're going to do right now, just go through this real quick. We're going to select the walleye. Go ahead, turn air to ground on, master arms on. Map on, let's bump it out. Everything looks good there, so data links on. Now, right now, what we could do, actually, turn the data link off. Instantaneous on the drop for, Jesus Christ, I knew I was going to mess this video up already, on your fuse, instantaneous on the fuse. So right now, you got the symbology on the HUD. If you soy to the right DDI, uncage, now you've got symbology on the HUD for the seeker head. Obviously, if we were low level and could visually see the targets, we'd be doing this instead of, you know, the way we're about to do it. And then you can see the seeker head if you're holding the TDC depress button down and slewing with the TDC slew keys. Now, in order to slave the seeker head back to its original position, you're going to push and hold, Ralph, the crab button. Now we're back on track with the seeker head directly ahead. Pretty straightforward. Just find your target, let it lock, then drop. You lose visual on the camera because we're not using the data link. Now, in this case, what we're doing, get on target here just a little better. Still got a little bit of time here, 62 miles out. So what we're going to do now is bring up the data link, and where we were going wrong, we have an instantaneous fuse. You also have delayed. We're doing instantaneous. This is your aft antenna, which we're not going to be using because hopefully we're hitting the target before it's behind us. So what we need to do now, we're on channel 2. If we wanted to, we could bring the UFC up, select channel, and go to 8 if we wanted to. We're not going to do that. Right now it's caged. We'll go ahead and make it soy. Now here's where we were going wrong. What we were doing was we were designating the waypoint here to slave the seeker head to. What we were not doing was going into the weapons system here. Now, Station 2 is up here, Station 8's down here. We were not prioritizing the station. As you see, there's nothing here right now. If we do that, we've prioritized Station 2. Now, why this happens, I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe because I didn't prioritize it. I just know I've been struggling with this right here. I'm having to... This is one thing I am having an issue with. Maybe it's user error. It might be because I didn't have channel 2 selected. So there's station 8. Here's station 2. Oh, you know what? I know why. Fucking idiot. Back to stores page. So this is the complexity of this weapon. Right now I have station 8 selected. If I step over here to station 2, go back. Now we're on station 2. So again, I'm going to leave this in video because this is what happens, right? You go to drop this, you think, just like now, I thought I was good to go. I thought I had station 2 set up. Let's just go through this again, go back to your stores page. If you're going to drop station 2, you have station 8 selected, the bomb is ready, you've got the data link selected, you go into the Walleye, and you're getting this. The reason is because you have the opposite station selected. If I wanted that to show up, I need to select station 8 by stepping over. So we'll jump back into station 2. Now we're caged. Weapon is ready. I'm not 100% sure what the acronym WEDL means. I'm assuming weapons delivery, maybe. I don't know. Or weapon data link. Probably weapon data link. I don't know. It basically means it's assigned to the data link. So we're good to go. Right now we're good to go. So what we can do, bring this in. My target's going to be this island right here. Now you can make, and this is more or less for the boys, you can make this so if I hit TDC depress right now and put a crosshair over the island, it'll go ahead and drive the seeker head to the island. I'm not going to do that because the way we've been doing it, specifically for this mission, we're not using the ground map, but I was tooling around with it earlier on, and it works just fine that way. As long as you have this soy and you're looking for your target, you designate it with the radar, then it's going to automatically slave the seeker head to where you're mapping on the marking on the map. What we're going to do, we've got 33 miles, we're still tracking good. I'm going to verify autopilot is good because we are definitely, I'm going to drop station 2, which is going to be that bad boy right there. So this heavy son of a bitch over here is going to make me drop my right wing to the right, and we're going to go into a right hand bank. It's not going to be a heavy bank as long as you have your attitude hold on and your barometric altitude. So we're good there. As you can see, no rush. Still got 30 miles. I'm going to go down here. We've got waypoint 1 selected. It's going to be a waypoint there. I'm going to go to waypoint designate. Now, you may ask, why didn't it go to the waypoint? It's because it's caged. Uncage. Bam. Now, something cool I learned. You got the green contrast here. Not too bad, but I learned this recently. If we turn the data link on here, it's still soy. Now we got black and white, which I found works a little better. You know, it gives you a little better contrast. So over here, I'll just bring the stores page up. Actually, we already know what's going on there. What I'll do is I'll bring the heads up display up because I've got my head down here. I don't have it in the looking outside. Center VR here. So I'm literally going to be sitting here in a minute when I drop. At about, I think at 20,000 you can drop it roughly 12 miles out. We'll probably do 12, 10, something along that lines. And as you see here, I've designated waypoint 1. It's already put the crosshairs on the island for me. So now it's really just a matter of waiting to get within range to drop. Here's your countdown timer. Weapons ready right here. Data link is hooked to station 2. We're slave to the target. Now all we're going to do once we get within range is pickle. I'm not going to touch the stick is going to come off to the right. I've found that trying to trim this bitch out after you drop one of these things is damn near impossible. Like, just let the autopilot do its job. Let the attitude hold barometric altitude, hold or radar altitude, whatever you're using. Keep the plane on track more than high enough to deal with any kind of AAA or any kind of issues down below, at least for the Operation Hormuz campaign. So yeah, we're really just waiting on the timer. Now, hopefully I don't screw this up and miss my target. I know where they're at. We can actually, even though we're 13 miles out, we've still got a little bit of time to make some fine-tune adjustments here. I would definitely say don't get in a rush and be like, oh shit, I gotta drop now, I gotta drop now. So we're within range, technically, right about here. It still says we're 6 seconds out. Well, 2 now. There we go, we're in range. So what I'm gonna do, pickle. Now, as you see, I've got control of the walleye at this point. Now I know my targets, because I've bombed this range before, roughly in here. I'm holding the TDC button down, TDC press button, and adjusting as it goes down. Now if I look up real quick, you can see my bank to the right, even though I've got that heavy bastard on here, is not bad. You're completely fine leaving this right here and just focusing on your target. I'm going to punch through the clouds here. A little bit of luck, I don't screw this up. While you're focusing on the walleye here, that's why I got the HUD up right there. I can see I'm in a shallower bank to the right. Now, old school technology here, you can't really see very well. I think I've got these bad boys. Yep. So right there. Boom. All right. So I've got a lock. I've let off of the TDC press. I am no longer guiding this. It's got a solid lock. If I needed to, I could redirect. It looks like it's going to make its target. I believe it's a BMP. Now it's a pretty big explosion. It's decent. Yep, BMP. There we go. Boom. There you go. And it took out the Ural next to it. So now, sweet spot about this. If you go to your data link page, I didn't need to turn it off. Switch over. You're on channel 8 now, and you're ready to drop the second one. Now, I'm going to disengage autopilot. Now you see how heavy without the autopilot. Look at that shit, man. It just wants to drop. So what I've been doing, one thing I'm going to try is dropping 2 at once. I have not done that. I've seen some videos online where if you give it about a 5-second leadway when you drop the first one, then you drop the second one. All you have to do down here on the data link is switch over to station 8, and you can automatically, as long as you're soy, you can automatically start controlling that second walleye. I haven't done that yet for demonstration purposes. While I was shooting this video, I didn't want to look like a clown and just screw the video up, so I won't sit here and pretend to be proficient at that. Usually what I'm doing, I'm still designated to waypoint 1, which is my target area. As you see, the walleye is still caged. I'm just getting out, 15 miles, since there's no rush. And what I'll do is when I get back around, I'll uncage the walleye. What we can do here is we'll bring it up on the other DDI so you can see it in the green, from the green perspective. There we go. So 15 miles out. We don't necessarily need the map. We can go back to the HSI. As you see, I've still got the waypoint designated as my target. So all I've got to do when circling back around, and I've got ATC on now, which is, I think I forgot to say that, along with barometric altitude hold and your attitude hold. I highly recommend getting used to using your auto throttle. I think any of the DCS F-18 drivers are probably already very familiar with it. ATC has your auto throttle control. I'm no F-18 pilot, clearly, probably tell by the way I talk, but I've learned a lot from listening to these guys and just picking up on stuff that people have been saying online, and yeah, it's helped out pretty well. But this walleye stuff, we were pretty lost. I couldn't find any decent video out there that was talking about linking the data link to the walleye. Get off in the weeds here. See, I'm in the sun. You can't see shit on the HUD. Man, kudos to Razbam, and I hope ED does this. I'm going to keep pushing it in every video. We need tinted display visors for... Make sure I'm not going to overshoot here. We need tinted display visors for the goddamn VR users, because you cannot see, I can't see shit in the HUD right now. So it would be really nice. So right now, let's go ahead and uncage. I'm actually having to hold this even though I've got autopilot on. I'm holding this until we're in range because it's going to want to bank on you, and I'm not able to hold my barometric altitude hold very well. So until we get in range, which we are now, what I'll do now is I will pickle. I've got plenty of time. I'm going to put the barometric altitude. I'm going to slave, and now I'm in control again, and I'm not having to worry about the aircraft. Now, as you can see, there's that black pillar of smoke. The cloud is definitely obscuring my target area. That black pillar of smoke is where I had some BMPs and stuff. The next round of targets, I hope I hit. I always forget exactly where they're at. I want to say they're right in this area here. This could be a total fucking failure. Because as you see, so knowing, I think I'm going to get lucky here because I think I'm making them out. Yep. There. Okay, now we've got lock. So knowing your targets, knowing your target locations with this munition is essential, because you can barely see them until you're almost right on top of them. So there you go. There's a truck. Boom. Took out several zoos. Took out the Ural cord. And that's it. 2 successful hits. Proficiency wise, it'd probably be better to drop them both at the same time and be able to time them coming off the rail, so you don't have to circle back around. When I get a little more advanced, a little better at this, then we'll do that. Anybody who's flying with the new Boeing seat or has their stick between their legs, man, I can't recommend that enough for DCS, whether you fly VR or not. Because right now I fly with the stick on the desk, and it's I'm right-handed. Obviously, everything would be weird if you were left, but it's a pain in the ass trying to reach over with your left hand to control, like hold the plane level, and use your right hand to move the mouse. But I was able to sit in the Boeing seat and fly around in my buddy's setup this past weekend. And let me tell you, whether you have the Boeing seat or you have things hooked to your desk, what are they, the mounts to mount your stick between your legs, it is so much easier to control your aircraft regardless of what you're flying in DCS if you have that stick in its natural position where you can transition to flying with your left hand and use your right hand, especially in VR, to manipulate the mouse. Because I find that being the case from time to time, especially with different munitions in the F-18. So yeah, just a pointer. If you have the funds and the ability to do something like that, I highly recommend it. I'll wind up getting the Boeing seat here, hopefully sooner than later. Yeah, and then my other rant, there you go, there's the bright ass sun, which I absolutely love in DCS, but in the last update, Razbam updated their visor in the Mirage 2000, so when you bring it down, it actually contours in VR. It'll contour your VR headset like a real visor. I did grow up flying in helicopters with my old man. I'm familiar with the helmets at least, and it is fairly accurate to the real helmet, and it helps tremendously in DCS. So hopefully Big Nui or anybody from Eagle Dynamics is listening, which I highly doubt, to this video. If y'all can implement for us VR users a tinted visor that we can pull down that is just as good, if not better, than Razbam's, man, it greatly be appreciated for us VR users, so we're not always having, at least in the F-18, having to bring up the HUD on the DDI, because I don't want to preach to the choir, we don't always have the ability to do that in other modules, and it can become a pain in the ass. Not to mention, I think it'd be pretty cool in the World War II modules if you could pull some tinted goggles down over your head, you know, just add to that realism. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. This is, like I said, more or less video for the boys and me to figure out how to use the Walleye effectively at 25,000 and hit our targets and get back. We're working on being more proficient with the F-18 and working as a team. Huge kudos to the dude who made the Operation Hormuz campaign free on the forum, or not on the forum, but the ED user files section. I think his ultimate goal was to push out like 25 missions or something, and I think he's got 17 out already, and we're on mission 7, I think. So if you're a huge proponent of the F-18 and flying with friends, I highly recommend trying out his campaigns. The dude is very locked on. Everything is very realistic. A lot of stuff going on deck. A lot of attention to detail on time on target, different types of munitions you use, all kinds of different combat from air to air, using the sea radar in one of the missions we just did. I mean, you're gonna touch just about everything the F-18 is capable of doing, which has been a lot of fun for us. So yeah, but I hope y'all got something out of this video, at least the two dudes I'm flying with. I hope this helps you guys out, and hopefully we don't look like total ass clowns the next time we fly this mission. Yep, till next time.